For weeks, I thought everything was normal. I thought I understood her, trusted her, and shared a life where we could laugh without fear, argue without bitterness, and dream without limits. We had built a routine, a life that felt safe, predictable, and ours. And yet, sometimes the smallest moments hide the largest cracks. That night at the work party, I didn't notice the crack until it was too late. I had dressed carefully, choosing the suit she once said made her heart skip a beat. I had rehearsed my conversations in the mirror, making sure my words carried the right mix of charm and warmth. I wanted to enjoy the evening with her, to show her that despite our busy lives, I was present, attentive, and willing to invest in us. I never imagined that the very event I looked forward to would unravel everything I thought I knew. The party was lively, buzzing with laughter, clinking glasses, and the kind of background chatter that seems harmless at first. She mingled easily, floating from colleague to colleague with a smile that was bright, practiced, and somehow distant. I watched her, expecting the warmth I knew so well, the subtle glances, the little touches we shared in public as a reminder that no one else mattered. But that night, her eyes danced differently, lingering on someone else longer than I expected, laughing at jokes that weren't funny to me, and slipping into a comfort I no longer recognized. It wasn't until she introduced me to him that I felt the first sting of unease. He was just a friend, she said quickly, her voice a little too tight, a little too hurried. He's just a friend, she repeated, as if the words alone could convince me, could convince herself, could convince the room. I wanted to nod, to believe her, to smile and move on. But something about the way she said it, the way her laughter trembled when he passed by, made my stomach tighten. I couldn't ignore it. I didn't want to, not yet. I stayed for a while, trying to catch her gaze, to find a trace of the woman I knew behind the careful mask she wore. The evening blurred past in a haze of small talk, polite laughter, and a constant awareness of him standing a little too close, sharing jokes only the two of them seemed to understand. Every time I looked, she smiled at him in a way that should have been reserved for me. Every word he spoke seemed to draw her closer, creating a subtle wedge I couldn't remove, no matter how hard I tried. The first real moment of clarity hit when I saw the two of them laughing together across the room, a quiet moment of intimacy hidden in plain sight. It wasn't a touch, it wasn't a kiss, but it was something heavier, something unspoken, something that immediately told me I wasn't part of it. My heart sank, my chest tightened, and I realized that the evening I thought was ours, the night I planned to enjoy with her, had been quietly claimed by someone else. I tried to speak, to make a joke, to steer her attention back to me. She nodded politely, laughed at the right moments, but her eyes betrayed her. They betrayed everything she refused to say. I had always thought that trust was something we built together, something resilient. That night, I understood that trust would be erased in silence, in subtle glances, in the careful way someone positions themselves in a room. It wasn't loud, it wasn't violent, but it was unmistakable. When we left the party, I felt a strange emptiness, a numbness that grew with every step toward the car. She chatted about the evening, about who said what, who laughed at whose jokes. I listened, nodding silently, my mind replaying the small details over and over. The way he looked at her, the way she responded, the way I had ignored the signs until it was impossible to ignore them any longer. By the time we reached the apartment, I knew there was no conversation that could restore what I felt slipping through my fingers. I realized with a quiet certainty that some betrayals are not about grand gestures, not about loud confrontations, but about the small moments that reveal someone's true priorities. And in that revelation, I finally understood what I had to do. I looked at her, standing there with a smile that now felt empty, and I felt no anger, only clarity. I gathered my things quietly. I didn't shout, I didn't plead. I simply walked out. That night, the streets were silent, the cool air brushing past me, and I felt a weight lift that I hadn't known I was carrying. The woman I loved, the partner I trusted, had chosen a different story, and I had no intention of being a footnote in it. When I walked away, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Every laugh, every glance, every whispered word from that night was already enough to tell me everything I needed to know. In leaving, I wasn't running from heartbreak. I was stepping into truth. I was reclaiming my dignity, my self-respect, and the certainty that some people are meant to pass through your life, teaching you lessons you cannot learn otherwise.